teachers are first encouraged to use the early literacy environment assessment. This can be used as a whole school exercise which allows staff to explore evidence-based principles of literacy instruction and consider how robustly and securely they are being embedded in their classrooms. Assessment of the literacy environment also includes gathering information which relates to the approaches which an authority may be using.
This year in the school we have 2 Primary 1 classes, and now the staff have worked very, very well together, collaborating on planning, moderation, assessment, and it seemed a very good point to actually look at the early literacy within the stage and also to review and revise our Primary 1 early intervention programme. And that caused us to cast our eyes over the POLAAR resource, which is online from Education Scotland. The first thing that we looked at was the environmental audit. Now, can I just say the staff particularly liked this because for each bullet point there was a space for them to record where they are now, but also to look at where they should be with lots of helpful strategies to help us get to that point. Also, I was really keen to look at the progression of skills across the stages rather than just focusing in on Primary 1. Now, when the staff got together, can I just say the quality of their dialogue was first class. They really took the time to reflect on their current practice. We've also looked at learning styles. Were we meeting the needs of all our children, looking at the different learning styles within the class? And that's something we really have focused in on. But I think the thing that caused the most impact, the most major impact, was looking at the targets. Were our targets appropriate to all children across the class?
Okay, so we'll just have another look at the early literacy environment assessment. We had a good look at this together, a good chat about 2 months ago. It'd be good just to reflect on what we've all been doing in our classrooms and how we think it's affected the classes and our teaching.
Yeah, okay. That's something we need to look at for Primary 1's a bit more non-fiction, I think. And we're introducing poetry during this term, but it's something we'll for looking at the future, more non-fiction texts for them. Because they're very keen on books.
Yeah, they want to look and find out.
You can have it within the classroom as well, can't you? Your story corner. But we've got quite a lot of non-fiction books, and a lot of them would often choose to take them if you're just saying, right, 5 minutes, go and choose a book and have a look.
I've got some that are
they can't wait to come and tell you.
To do.
I find the boys in particular want to do it. I've got a non-fiction book about dinosaurs, and the boys
and they love it.
What about electronic books?
I've used them as a kind of whole class. But maybe sort of
I would say that I don't think I've probably done it.
Probably not, no.
I think that's one thing. The POLAAR resource has been really valuable because you can just assess. I know for the Primary 1's it was the initial sounds we've been working on, and then you can do some actions with them and encourage them over a few weeks and then assess them again, and hopefully their knowledge of the initial sounds has increased, which I know with mine that's been the case. But they're not quite ready maybe yet, some of them, for the word assessment.
I think, like you say, with the POLAAR assessment that we did with our classes as well, although I maybe knew 1 or 2 of mine were struggling until I actually did that assessment, that was a real eye-opener and really changed the way I've thought about that group.
I think some of the actions are very useful as well, because sometimes I know with children I was focusing on, it's just a simple thing that we did every day that seems to have brought them on and reinforced what they've been learning. So I think adjusting the learning goals, as you say, you've got to think about what is it that particular child
groups,
is, is struggling a bit with.
And the children have got targets, so we can work towards them. We can see which ones they've achieved and what they've not achieved, and that can obviously help with their learning goals.
Yeah, and the targets are obviously differentiated for each group as well. So it's
so I mean, my children all kind of individually know if they've met and whatever their target is for
now
that
they're
term.
getting a lot better at them being displayed around the classroom. Like we had an issue, one of our displays was too high up and we were thinking, what's the point? The children can't see that. So then we have since moved our maths wall and the language one down so that the targets are displayed, and you can say to the children, right, Chip's reading group, bring your targets, come and let's do a reading. So think about your buddies.
They're not trained to do it.
No.
But they do some literacy activities with us. But the Primary 7s have also said recently they'd to do some information about their buddying, and they said we've had to go back to speaking phonetically.
Right.
Because
When some of the
yeah.
primary
Because
sevens
of
come out,
course
it's
it'd be
because
such a long
uh-huh.
time since they've done it.
So even they're starting to think about the way they speak and
Mhm.
adapting it
Yeah,
for the younger
because they've
children.
been doing some of the POLAAR resource games with the primary ones, and they were having to go back to think about back.
And then as it goes on, the
To
current
train,
primary
yeah.
sevens could train the primary sixes
Sixes.
before they go off to high school, and the
Yeah.
sixes become sevens.
You would
so-
only maybe need to choose a group of pupils as well
Yeah.
to work with them. So it would be something we could
Yeah,
look
I think
at.
that's good, because I think we are good at it, but we could definitely do more.